minutes.
The gentlewoman from the District of Columbia is recognized for 5 minutes.
I thank the distinguished chairman for yielding for a ceaseless fight for the district's rights. During the rule, I thanked the others who are responsible for this historic day. Today's vote will allow the House to erase many deep historic wrongs from the nation's conscience. The House votes as district residents are serving in Iraq and Afghanistan in a shooting war, as they have in every war, including the war that established our republic. Andy Shalal, a district resident, said it best, quote, "People like me of Iraqi ancestry, and even my son, who was born in the United States, are entitled to vote in Iraq elections, due in large part to the service of the citizens of the District of Columbia and other Americans who have fought and died in Iraq," end quote. And today's vote will erase the slander that the founders of our Constitution, of our country, who staged the revolution for representation, would then deny it to the residents of their own capital. Professor Viadin, President Bush's former point man on constitutional matters, has wiped away the major argument that because a district is not a state, its American citizens cannot vote in the People's House, by detailing the many ways in which, quote, since 1805, the Supreme Court has recognized that Congress has the authority to treat the district as a state, and Congress has repeatedly exercised that authority, end quote. My favorite is the 16th Amendment, which requires only that citizens of states pay federal income taxes. Why then have district residents continuously been taxed without representation? And today's vote will relieve the House of the shameful racial burden that has been at the core of the denial of the rights of D.C. citizens. Congress required the same racial segregation here as in the southern states, in schools and in public accommodations until the 1954 Brown decision. As one southern senator put it, quote, "The Negroes flocked in, and there was only one way out, and that was to deny suffrage entirely to every human being in the district," end quote. Former Republican Senator Edward Brooke, a native Washingtonian and the nation's first popularly elected black senator, wrote, "The experience of living in a segregated, serving in our segregated army perhaps explains why my party's work on the Voting Rights Reauthorization last year and on the pending D.C. Voting Rights Act has been so important to me personally. The irony, of course, is that I had to leave my hometown to get representation in Congress and to become a member. Today I ask the House to abolish that irony and the tragedy for the many who have come to the nation's capital seeking freedom for 206 years, among them my great-grandfather, Richard Holmes, a slave who ran away from a Virginia plantation in the 1850s and settled our family here. I appeal to your conscience and ask for your vote so that finally there also will be a vote for your fellow Americans here who have paid for this precious right many times over in blood and in treasure. I thank the gentleman for yielding.